Welcome to those of you who are following the wild card round game in the NFC, in which the Minnesota Vikings are leading the Seattle Seahawks 3-0 by virtue of points scored off a special teams mistake by Seattle. And the game, of course, is in ridiculously cold weather. It's a total outlier in terms of typical football. And that's my non-expert analysis. But fortunately, I have someone to give you 2 or 3 minutes of more expert analysis. A former quarterback and former coach, Lance Bailey, joins me now. Lance, what are some things that the average fan might not have picked up on this game that are going to be keys in the second half of this very weird game?
Well, I think that Seattle has to stick more with the read option. Every time they seem to get into the read option, they've had some success even running, throwing the ball into the bootlegs with Russell Wilson. I don't think they've done it enough. Minnesota's done a good job of defending them. Otherwise, except for the read option and plays off of the read option, Minnesota just has to keep it close. The stats don't say it, but Peterson's rushing yards, I think, are in the 30s, and just with the game being as close as they are, they can continue to feed him the ball as much as possible and chip away at Seattle's defense. Try to run between the tackles a little more. I think they're having a little more success defending him when they're running the stretch play and the toss play. But, as long as the game is close and they're playing well defensively and minimizing their mistakes, they're going to be able to feed him the ball. And, 1 or 2 yard gains in the third and fourth quarter with him maybe become bigger as the game progresses.
How much of a factor will the fact that Minnesota has really one of the best running backs of all time and probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest running back of all time be, while Seattle really doesn't have its top 2 running backs on the depth chart?
I think Minnesota, you got they're using him more on first and second down, Peterson to chip away and get to the point in the down and distance where it's manageable in third down. I think that's, they can rely on him, and his physicalness is what's getting him the yards that he has right now. If you had a little scat back in there, I don't think the yards would be even in the 30s what it is right now, because he's going to have to lower the shoulder and just, move the pile for 3 or 4 yards, and that's really all they need to keep within the sticks. If they get behind the sticks, third and 8s, third and 10s, third and 12s, then we're going to have a bigger problem with Minnesota. They're not going to be able to compete as well, and then you're going to have to get away from the running attack with Peterson.
Yeah, they're not asking Bridgewater to do too much. Finally, do you agree that Minnesota is winning the battle on the lines, which is even more important in a game in weather like this?
I would say, to be honest with you, I would say it's offensive line it's probably a stalemate at this point. The Minnesota's offensive line, because they are keeping Peterson in check. But defensive line for Minnesota is playing very well. They're not allowing, the big plays from Russell Wilson. The big plays that he has come out of the read option, and I think that's what they need to do, because the read option puts a lot of pressure on your outside linebacker, your defensive end to play fundamental football. And one of them makes a mistake, and he's down the field for 10, 12, 13 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle needs to do that more, the read option, just to put more pressure on defense line. So, get back to your question, I'd say it's probably more of a stalemate more than anything, with just a little tad going towards Minnesota.
Okay, well, the third quarter is about to start. Lance, okay if I check in with you before the fourth quarter as well?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, enjoy the game.